Yuri here, episode 12 of Better Than Yesterday. Today I'm going to start off with a little story. This is a story of how I got into this country. Well, not how I got into it, how I started school and my experience with going to school. It was around Thanksgiving. The reason why I remember that is because when I came in and met my ESL teacher, he started doing this stuff and talking to me in gibberish, which was English, and I just looked at my dad all scared, wondering like, what's up with this? My dad said, oh, we're having a holiday we celebrate by eating turkey. I was like, that's cool, I like eating. That's pretty much my introduction to Thanksgiving. That's not that story though. My story is going to school, the first time actually going to school and going to my classes and all of that good stuff. It was a very scary experience. I didn't know English. I didn't have any friends. I was going into 6th grade, so that was a good awkward time where you're 12, 13 years old, going through puberty, going through voice changes, all that beautiful experiences. And again, I think I only had one kid in the whole school that was actually speaking Russian, so I was forced to learn English right away without having any friends. I remember coming back home that same day, going to my dad and saying, listen, I don't want to go back to school. And I was 12, let's remember that. Don't tell anyone, but I'll admit to this. I cried at that moment, and I was like, I don't want to go back to school. And throughout tears and whatnot, my dad's consoling words were, no, you go in school next day. So I went back to school the next day, and I somewhat learned English, and here I am now. Why am I sharing this with you? Is because a lot of people still go through these fears, and all those fears were legit. I didn't have any friends. I did not speak the language. I remember getting lost in the hallways and didn't know how to read the map and could not even ask for directions because I did not know how to speak English. I ended up, I think, at a guidance counselor, and somehow I was made it to where I was going, so I was late, and then attempted to explain to the teacher why I was late, why I can't speak English. That was a fun experience as well. All this stuff still fresh in my brain, and that was way back then when I first started going to school when I was 12. Why am I telling you this? Is because a lot of people could relate going to and doing something new, right? Going to school, going to college, going every year going to school, it's a whole new challenge. If you have kids, they can surely relate. Their biggest worry right now is who's in their homeroom, who's in their lunch period, who's in their gym, who's their teacher. Why is this relatable to you at this time? Is starting something new, such as starting a fitness program, going to the gym. The legitimate reasons some people have is, I'm not fit enough, I'm overweight, I'm too skinny, I feel like I will have a heart attack, I'll make myself look like a fool. And the one that's not very legitimate, that's a lot of people kind of get that embedded in their brain and their mindset going into it, is people will laugh at me. There hasn't been one gym that I went through, or I worked at global gyms, obviously I work at a private facility now, and I have not met one person that went to a gym and got laughed at. There's one gym now that I'm not going to mention the name, but that's the only gym that I know that actually discriminates against fit people. Hopefully you guys can figure out which gym that is. But basically, any gym you go to, those are the most common fears that most people have, and those are legitimate reasons. You might not be fit enough because you haven't been working out. You may not be as fit as other people because they have been doing it for a while. It might be awkward, you might feel like a fool, and those are all legitimate reasons. But I had legitimate reasons too, and how did I get past them? Talk to my dad for the motivational and speaking and the tough love. He'll just say, just do it. You're going back, there's no ifs or buts about it. For you guys, you have a choice. You get to make that choice for yourself. Most common phrase that I tell my clients is don't try, do. There's also sometimes I say don't think, do. Don't overthink something, just do it. Because if you keep overthinking it, it's only going to be worse. The scenarios we make up in our heads is way worse than reality. And all those legitimate reasons I mentioned before, yes, they might be true, but they're a lot worse and signified in your brain versus the reality of it. The first 2 weeks that you work out, they'll feel the worst thing ever. But after that, it becomes pattern, becomes behavior. And then you kind of get addicted to working out the right way and just kind of ongoing force. But the hardest part is getting started and getting past that overthinking stage. The best way to get over the overthinking stage or the fear stage or whatever you want to call it, just the starting aspect, is to just do it. Don't think, do. Be better than yesterday, and hopefully that sheds some light as to why I am the way I am and how I learned my perfect English. And take care, guys. Have a good one. Better than yesterday. Yuri here. Episode 12. Better than yesterday. Why?